Thank you for listening to another episode of TeeVo The Beard. This episode has been brought to you in part by social support from Mark Gunn. Find out more about the Celt Father at markgunn.com and look him up on iTunes under Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. It's also been brought to you by support from Blame Your Brother Podcast. You can find out more about them at bybpod.com. And also, of course, we'd like to thank all of our lovely listeners. Thank you and enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of TeeVo The Beard.
You can't see us, but I am TeeVo, and that is The Beard.
Yes, and our shirts are sponsored by the Blame Your Brother Podcast.
I have a green one on.
And I have a red one.
Ooh.
So for those in color theory, we are complimenting each other.
And that is something Mrs. Beard would definitely be a fan of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say we're back to kind of a normal schedule.
I think so.
Yeah.
We just have...
A storm kind of interrupted us, but thankfully we had the Dragon Con episode split up enough to cover, our listeners.
And I think show-wise, we're kind of getting back because I think we found a show we can talk about.
Oh, definitely.
And but before all that, before all the news, all the show talks, I want to go off script here.
Oh, okay.
Because we're getting fancy here at TeeVo The Beard. We are starting to plan more and more what we're going to say.
It's unheard of in the podcast community, I know.
So, but now I'm going off script.
Okay.
I just want to profess my love right now.
Okay.
Yes. To an actress.
Okay. Whew. Mrs. The Beard was going to get nervous there for a minute.
I'm sorry. I didn't. For that tension building, I'm sorry. To an actress that I really just discovered last week.
Okay.
She's been around, obviously, but I didn't know her.
Okay.
And I care now.
And who is the lucky lady?
Her name is Michelle Gomez.
Okay.
She
sounds familiar.
Is most known to people now for playing Missy, aka the Monster, on Doctor Who.
Okay.
But I watched a Netflix show during our break.
Yeah.
I knew she was in it, but I was really watching it for a couple other people.
Okay.
And then I fell in love with her character, and I said, I want to consume all shows that you're in.
Okay.
So I sought up 2 more. I have watched other 2, and I'm so infatuated with her right now that I actually will seek out Doctor Who.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So that's what's going to bring you over to the light side.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was the Netflix show that...
It's called Green Wing. It's a
Yes, I love Green Wing.
What?
Yeah, I love Green Wing. Sorry, you didn't expect me to know the show. I won't steal her from you.
Please narrate what's going on.
I think TeeVo is having either a panic attack or a heart attack or some sort of attack. So we might need to take you to Green Wing to get you checked out by the competent doctor staff on there.
So the character of Sue.
Yeah. Okay. So I was wondering why the name sounded familiar.
It's not just that character. I'm very attracted to characters in many ways, whether it be just I like them or I could be infatuated with them. Right. But I like characters that you never know what they're going to do next.
Right.
And Sue White on Green Wing is that character. Yeah. You never know what she's going to do next. So
when I see her on there, I sometimes wonder what is scripted and what is improv.
Exactly. Like the Kramers, the Raffis, it's those characters, you're like, what are they going to do next?
Yeah.
And I like those. I've always liked those characters. Kind of keeps you on your toes. Because, nothing wrong with getting to know a character and knowing where they're going to go next.
Yeah.
That's good character progression. But, having the wild card in there is sometimes very nice.
Yeah, that show was recommended to me by a friend of mine who's a nurse. Because, of course, she likes anything doctor and hospital related. But she knows I like Britcoms.
Yes.
And so when she mentioned a doctor one, though, I'm like, I don't get into the whole hospital thing. So it was probably about 6 months to 9 months before I actually checked it out. And I just binged right through them.
Now, when you saw it on Netflix, I assume that's when you saw it, right?
Well, Amazon Prime, but same thing.
Because I saw it on Netflix and they only have the first series. So I had to seek out.
The first 2 seasons on Prime?
I had to seek out. There is a fantastic YouTube channel that put all of them on there.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah,
so I managed to watch it regardless.
Yeah, as long as somebody else uploads it, we're perfectly fine with
exactly.
it. we didn't commit anything.
But I saw the first series because the only reason I watched it because I watched an episode or a show called Episodes. It has 2 British actors in it. Yeah. And those 2 British actors are in Green Wing. Okay. Like, one of them plays Lady Caroline, and the other plays the skeevy doctor. Yeah. Dr. Secretan.
I know. He I love to hate him, and I hate to love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those 2 are already in a show I watched. So I was like, oh, well, if they're in another show that they did in the past, clearly I will like it. Yeah. And I did. But I was like, I didn't expect to like you, Miss Michelle Gomez. Yeah. And then I just thought, I want to watch more shows with you. Yeah. So I just want to know. I just want to say this. I just want to put it in the air that I love you. So if I get to meet you one day,
we'd love to have you on the show.
I just want the world to know that. Now back to scripted stuff.
Well, hold on. Since we are going a little off script and doing some recommendations here, I watched something today that made me literally laugh until I cried.
Okay.
And for those who follow me on my personal Twitter account, we've had a recent loss in our home. So, we have Lady Beard, Baby Beard, me. We also had Puppy Beard.
Yes.
Or Doggy Beard. And through, some medical complications, cancer, all blah, blah, blah. I won't get into the details. We did have to have her put to sleep. So I've been lately looking for stuff to make me laugh. Green Wing is a good example of that. But today I was browsing through Amazon Prime, and I noticed that Nick Offerman and his lovely wife Megan have a comedy special on there, The Summer of '69.
Yes.
And if for those of our listeners that are not easily offended, I recommend going and checking it out. It is hilarious. It is funny and sweet. But at the same time,
for a dedicated dozen, you should know that if it has Nick Offerman,
I'm going to watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but
this can't be a shock that this is a recommendation.
Yeah, but I've never seen any of Megan Mullally's stuff outside of a sitcom. Okay. I saw Will and Grace, Bob's Burger, something like that.
Right.
So this was a nice change up there. She's hilarious in her own right, and then putting the 2 of them together. I mean, I look at that and I'm like, relationship goals.
She is a very good comedic actress.
She is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are certain actors out there who they're not really funny like the improv or maybe stand-up way. Yeah. But they're just really good at comedic timing.
Well, she's definitely both.
Megan Mullally is definitely that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you do have a lot of funny actors and actresses, but you put them on a stage by themselves, and
that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're all meant to be. It's always just nice to compliment when you see it done right.
Yeah, because on the flip side, there's stand-up comedians that you don't want to see in shows.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's okay.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, good example. Hannibal Buress.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, now we can go back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes. Yeah. So, a couple news things, S.H.I.E.L.D. related. Let's just get those out of the way.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, when I went to Dragon Con, one of the guests that I was excited to see was Nick Blood.
Right.
If you don't know Nick Blood,
who already has a great superhero name in
Nick
real
Blood.
Life. Yeah.
But he played Lance Hunter on S.H.I.E.L.D. Haven't seen him in a while.
No.
So I was excited to, say hello, get a picture, maybe an autograph. But then he canceled. I was like, hey, that's the breaks.
Right.
And then we
probably filming some Nicholas Sparks romance comedy out there.
But we found out
he wasn't.
But we found out why he canceled.
Yeah.
He will return on S.H.I.E.L.D. What do you think of that?
I'm excited about it.
Adrian Palicki is not joining him that we know of.
Right.
So,
and I'm wondering how they're going to play that. We don't know how many episodes he's going to be in. We don't know the way he's going to be in it. Is he going to be a main character? Is he going to be a flashback character?
Ooh.
So
please don't be a flashback.
I know. But
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I don't want him to be a flashback.
No.
Be here and now.
Yeah. You are most wanted. Literally. So I'm happy to see him back. I like him as an actor, especially on the show, and I want to see him back as a proper agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And
for potentially its last season.
I
know, people. We're not drinking the cancellation Kool-Aid, but
no.
Let's just look, people. It's moving to Friday
at 9,
and I've watched TV long enough in my life to know that while it's not a death sentence like it was in the 90s.
Right.
It's not great that you're on Friday.
Right.
So it's more or less we're preparing for possibly the inevitable.
Yeah, unless you were a family sitcom on TGIF, you didn't belong on Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, we want to be wrong.
Yeah. As long as they keep it good. Because, like, the last third of season 4 really reset the bar, in my opinion, for S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, like, set it high. Mm-hmm. So they've got themselves a challenge, and I think they're up for it. And,
yes.
Your boy's going to be directing at least one episode.
And why I wanted to mention it is because it's always a special thing when your actors direct an episode. Mm-hmm. Because who knows the show best?
Right.
And I know they don't tell us anything.
No. Marvel's great at keeping secrets.
Here's the thing. This is a weird situation we are in at TeeVo The Beard, because every year that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been on, we've known something by now. But because they're starting so late... We don't know anything.
Because originally they were going to come back in January, but now they're going to come back at the end of Inhumans.
Yeah, but we still don't know anything about the season. Like, last year at Comic-Con, they told us at least Ghost Rider is coming.
Right.
Anything else was fair game.
Right.
But we knew that this year, right now, as we were talking, don't know nothing. Yeah. I think they are waiting for New York Comic-Con, so I think that's their big unveiling.
Okay. Because as of right now, we still don't even have an exact date.
Nope.
For starting, so
we don't even know who's in it. They did announce that someone's going to guest star in a recurring role, but who that is, don't know.
They could be talking about Nick Blood when they say that.
No, there is one other person.
Okay.
But still, who's he playing? Don't know. Who's even the guy? I've never heard of him.
It's Agent Number 5 who's going to be in the background.
Exactly.
And it's going to be Simon Pegg.
Oh my goodness, would that be great?
But he has no speaking role. He just stands back there. And
I think that would be great.
That would.
But nonetheless, so obviously they don't tell us the episode that Clark Gregg is directing.
No.
But I'm looking forward to it because I think we may get some very nice intimate moments that, someone with a keen eye that's been on the show for 5 years.
And someone with directing experience like he has.
Yeah. Yes. So that's all I want to say about it. If we know more, we'll talk about it. But that's all we know.
Yeah.
And Marvel's really good about that. If anyone from Marvel is listening right now, they're just going, good.
Excellent. Our plan is working.
And for those who listened to our True Lies episode, first of all, thank you. It was an experiment. We're gonna try to make things better the next time we venture off to a movie commentary type thing. Yep. We got one planned up in a couple weeks, and we're gonna try to look at what we did there, see what we liked, and maybe see what we like in some other people.
Yeah,
the pot's cooking, guys.
Yeah, and if you have any suggestions, let us know.
But why I wanted to bring True Lies up again, so the powers that be,
they were listening to you.
The universe has been listening to me talk about it for a long time. The universe has probably got pinged. It's like, what? Someone's talking about the show?
Right. It's on their Google alerts. It's like one person mentioned it.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we should do something. So Fox, with the help of Mech G and the people who are behind Arrow, the Arrowverse, will be making a True Lies pilot. I'm excited. I'm intrigued.
Hopefully it will see the light of day.
Yeah. There have been many pilots. I mean, that's why they're pilots.
Right.
They don't necessarily have to see the day. But you know what? I was thinking, and I said this, I think, at the end of our True Lies, if I were to fan cast.
Right.
Well, clearly I was thinking of a True Lies remake movie.
Yeah.
Now for a show.
That's trickier.
But I toyed around with the idea, it's 2017. Probably 2018 by the time we see the light of day, if it sees the light of day. They should flip it. They should gender flip it.
I agree. Yeah.
I think we could get some interesting stories. But so I thought of a few people who could fit the bill for maybe if we were to get a woman or a man. Or a man of color.
Yeah.
So I think for a woman, you should convince Kate Beckinsale to do TV.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that.
I think she could do something interesting work as this, because then you can get the super sleek female spy aspect of it instead of the Herculean Schwarzenegger. Not that that's bad. But yeah. But I think you could tell a lot more interesting stories week to week if someone like a Kate Beckinsale were to do the role of Schwarzenegger's role.
Yeah.
I don't know who would be her husband. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
But
you're still working on casting.
Yes. Yeah. But if we were to get a man of color, I actually would think Common.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting choice.
Yes, I've liked him as a rapper, and then once he transitioned to film, I think he's done well. Yeah, he's shown that he's not just the guy to play what most rappers do. He's done. I'm not saying he's the best actor in the world, but I think he's a serviceable one given the right material. Well, it's like anything. You get the right things, you can make anything work.
Well, yeah.
So,
and I think Tom Arnold would probably actually come back to reprise his role.
That would be great.
Yeah.
You know what? He can reprise his role in a way, but then his trainee is the one.
Yeah.
It's like Grant Heslow's character could be the actual Tom Arnold character, but Tom Arnold could still be there.
Right, yeah. He's training up a new generation of Tom Arnolds.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And if we were going to go traditional Schwarzenegger type Herculean role, Carl Urban.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
There we go.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 choices to play the Schwarzenegger character.
Yeah.
Universe, if you're listening,
make it happen.
Make it happen.
Something like it, Yeah. If they can make Lethal Weapon work, then...
It is making it work. I'm not watching it actively.
Neither am I.
But
it still exists.
It exists, and I've watched a few episodes, and, they... You know what? They didn't make it the way I wanted to make it.
Right.
I was enamored with the way...
Well, we weren't talking about it on the show. That was the problem.
Well... I was enamored with the way that Robert Rodriguez turned the From Dusk Till Dawn series into a show.
Yeah.
I like that.
But it helped that it was his own property.
It does.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's the Hair Classic. I know why it worked that way.
Right.
Just, I was hoping that could be a template for other TV shows.
Yeah.
Because I like that he turned the first movie into a season-long thing. And then spawned from there.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping Lethal Weapon and Rush Hour... But that one was a little worse.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that...
We don't speak of Rush Hour.
But I was hoping that those shows movies turn TV shows would follow that. It's you have great material already.
Right.
And I like that, Robert Rodriguez, those little things that didn't happen in the movie, well, they happen here.
Right.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was hoping
and you can tell, like he did, you can tell it from different angles.
Yeah.
Also.
So I was hoping that at least Rush Hour was going to do that. There's not much with Lethal Weapon because it's still a buddy comedy, but I was hoping they'd draw a little bit from that.
Yeah.
But no, they made their own thing. Respect to that. They still exist, unlike Rush Hour.
Yeah.
So
because Fox will pull the plug very quickly if they don't like something. Yes. It doesn't even matter how it's doing in ratings. If they just don't like it, they're like, no.
Speaking of, yesterday was the 15th anniversary of Firefly.
Yes.
So thought, since you said that, thought we'd like to give a shout out to that.
Yes, definitely. Another one gone too soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's just the way I want. I think in your way of S.H.I.E.L.D. raising the bar, From Dusk Till Dawn raised the bar. If you're gonna make a movie into a TV show, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Because clearly people like the movies. And why not?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a great property to go with because like Lethal Weapon, it has that comedy, drama, cop action, it's a mixture of genres. It's not just, pigeonholed into one thing. Not like making a Nicholas Sparks thing into a TV show. That's just going to be crap.
But see, I think, I hope they don't breeze over the movie in the first episode.
Right.
I hope they don't remake the movie into a 1-hour thing. I personally think, but again, I guess I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid in that. I think the first movie has plenty of material you could do and spin off from to a whole season, 22 episode season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could do half the season before his, even the big action starts.
Exactly. There's a lot.
Yeah.
And then, then you, like good writers, you can progress the character from there. Maybe then you can do that long fabled sequel they wanted to do for season 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
But...
And we can get a little bit more insight into the Schwarzenegger character.
Yeah.
Because, in the movie, he's computer person thing, but we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't really get to see Arnold as that. And, of course, we can't even imagine him
as that. And then we get to see more of the life of the Jamie Lee Curtis character.
Right.
What was it like to, it's the classic, how did you not guess that your husband is that?
And maybe she could, cameo in an episode.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's done TV and she's done TV
Fox.
for Fox.
Yeah. So it's that notion of, that's where I hope you go. Obviously, I'm not paid to do any of it other than, I'm not even paid to do this to talk about it. So It's just universe. If you hear me, at least just take it in consideration. Yeah. Yuri took consideration of making it a thing. Yeah. Why not? Let's just go all the way with it.
Might as well, yeah. And Fox, we're giving you free publicity right here, so work with us.
Yeah, work with us.
But speaking of Jamie Lee Curtis,
yes,
she's back.
What do you think about that? For Halloween being the only horror franchise I'm actively liking, I'm excited. I cannot wait.
By it. Yeah. The fact that she's coming back as the same character. In the photo shoot she did, she's actually wearing the same clothes.
Yes.
Which, Activia. I mean, that's I guess that's all that can be said there.
Well, what do you think of the notion? They haven't 100% said it in this phrasing, but what do you think of them pretty much retconning things after Halloween 2?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
You're fully okay with that?
I'm fully okay with
that. Because, spoiler, in Halloween Resurrection, Jamie Lee Curtis dies.
Right. Yeah.
So seeing her back, it's like, well, clearly it's a retcon because you shouldn't be here. Not that we don't want you here, but Danny McBride and David Gordon Green, so are you just saying, never mind?
Yeah. Basically, they're trying to, instead of trying to reboot the franchise like Rob Zombie did,
right,
they're trying to fix the franchise. Because like I've said in previous episodes, the problem with the horror genre is franchises. Because none of them are done right.
Right.
Evil Dead gets the closest in my personal opinion, but I'm sure if I nitpick, I can find flaws within it. Halloween, just like Hellraiser, did really good in the first and second one. And then took like a left-hand turn on a red light after that. And yeah, and so when you get like Season of the Witch and stuff like that, it's like it's a fun, campy movie, and I like that it exists. I just don't like that it has Halloween attached to it. So,
but I don't know what to expect, but
yeah,
I'm digging it.
So am I. Yeah,
because. And I like that they're taking it from that point. So it's like their new version of H2O. They're just not calling it that.
Right. Well, it'd be like H40
at this point. Wow.
I'm almost as old as Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah. Thankfully, I'll never be as old as Halloween because that's the way time works. But I'll always be almost as old as.
But we are happy that Jamie Lee Curtis is back.
Yes, yeah, and I love.
Well, even when they were still ambiguous whether it's going to be like a sequel or a reboot, I always said, well, Jamie Lee Curtis has to be in it.
Yeah,
like one way or the other, she has to be in it. But I'm so happy she's back as Laurie.
Yeah, and I want them to use John Carpenter's original theme for it. He's the one that composed it. Instead of, I don't want them to modernize that, and that is a minor fear. It's not going to make or break it for me.
Well, considering that they're attempting to, as you say, fix the franchise,
right,
and being that Danny McBride, I follow his work, and I know he's a fan of film.
Right,
he's a fan of film history. He's more than just the characters. Shockingly, he's more than just the characters you see on film.
Right.
I got a chance to do like an extras work with him.
Oh, nice.
So I've seen how technical he can be on scenes that are really not that important, but they're important because he's putting his name on it.
Right.
He's doing the work. So knowing all that about him, I feel like he won't do that.
Okay.
That's just my assumption. Right. I mean, I obviously don't control his destiny.
Yeah. And like I said, that's not something that's going to be like a break it for me thing, but I would say that if I heard the iconic music in a trailer and it was properly done, that would convince me more to see it no matter what is actually in the trailer.
But I feel like you're going to see it
one way or regardless.
One way or the other.
Yeah, because I want to give Jamie Lee Curtis more money.
Good.
So, I mean, I watched both seasons of Scream Queens. I think I can.
I only watched one.
Yeah.
So
you didn't miss anything with the second one.
I heard that too,
but she was in it. So
I read synopses.
And Tom Stamos was funny in it.
I read synopses of it, so I was like, well, I didn't watch it, but
you got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, they didn't get the first one was a lot more original than the sequel, I guess you could say. Yeah,
just like franchises,
right? Yeah.
Wow,
it's the curse of the horror franchise. But you know what does have a good franchise though? You're looking at me like you don't. Is it too early to segue?
What are we?
Oh, did you have something else to say?
No.
Okay,
I just don't know where you're going.
Oh, I was gonna say, you know what does have good franchises? You say what?
What?
See, this is completely unscripted, people. Science fiction.
Yes.
Yeah. An unscripted segue, and I thought it was going to flow a lot better. and I'm not going to cut it out of the recording. So what have you been watching in the sci-fi realm?
So why we feel like we're back to our quote-unquote regular groove. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't noticed, we've had to find material to talk about, and we've actually hit gold on certain things.
Oh yeah,
I think. Mm-hmm. But our main bread and butter is finding a show we like and discuss it for all you dedicated dozen people.
Yes, Flash, Shield, Supergirl.
Yes.
Not not Arrow, not Gotham, and I hate to say it, not Legends of Tomorrow.
Except the moments where they make me very mad.
Right, yeah. So you can talk negatively about it, but not, happily.
But, during the hiatuses, a la the summer or the winter, we have to get creative.
And this has been a long, dry summer.
And we got plans. Oh, we got plans for some very interesting episodes coming up.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, there was no shows to watch. Mm-hmm. Well, we found one.
We did.
At least I thought I found one, at least for me to talk about. I'm glad that the Beard is also watching it.
Yep.
But this past couple weeks, they premiered The Orville on Fox, the new sci-fi Seth MacFarlane show.
Yes.
And I watch it because, I watch everything else Seth MacFarlane puts out there. Whether I like it, that's the second question, but I will at least watch it.
And I watch it because I have been begging the universe to give me a science fiction show that is not tied to a major franchise. And it has produced that.
Yes.
And
that's not saying you're not watching...
Oh, I'm still watching other stuff.
Star Trek Discovery.
And I will watch Discovery when it premieres on the 25th. But I like Lex. I like Babylon 5. I like all this other... the stuff that puts you into... science fiction, and it doesn't just rely on previous knowledge of characters and species and stuff like that. It gives you new things.
Right.
Yeah. So I went in expecting to think this show was all right. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of Family Guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of American Dad. I've seen Ted 1 and 2. I like 2 better. And I'm not a huge fan of A Million Ways to Die in the West. So I don't jump to give Seth MacFarlane my time or money or anything like that. But as I tweeted and then untweeted about this show, I guess I will watch Orville until Discovery comes out. Mm-hmm. I then deleted that after watching the first episode because it is damn good.
I am a little bit of the opposite. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy Family Guy. I don't enjoy American Dad, but I do enjoy the Cleveland Show.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
That's okay. A lot of people did.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I think I did enjoy that one though while it was out.
Ted 1 and 2 I enjoy. Mm-hmm. I enjoy to an extent A Million Ways to Die in the West, but I equate this show to the Orville in this. A Million Ways to Die in the West, I feel, was more Seth MacFarlane making fun of Westerns.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like Western.
Right.
It was struggling as like, are you a parody or are you actually the genre?
Right. Are you Three Amigos or are you Blazing Saddles?
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah.
Because it clashed a lot in the film. Mm-hmm. So watching the Orville, or at least the previews of it, I was like, okay, so is it going to be A Million Ways to Die in the West, but in space? Yeah. And to my surprise, it is not.
It is not.
Because I think he fixed that little balance. It's a sci-fi show. It's a real sci-fi show to me. Yeah. It just has his humor. Yeah. And that's fine. I like his humor.
If Guardians of the Galaxy was a real-life show, this would be it.
And I like his humor. That's why I gravitate towards him. But, much like anything, I know when enough is enough.
Yeah.
And, A Million Ways to Die in the West flirted a lot with that line.
Oh, yeah.
And the Orville, I think, respects the genre. Because we know he's a fan of Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you watch anything Seth MacFarlane, that's really clear.
Yeah.
But it respects the genre, but it's still original in his own way.
Right. Yeah, and it's only been 2 episodes so far.
It's only been 2 episodes, but
as of this recording, we're going to have one more episode to watch tonight. Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it so far, and I don't know what I expect in the long run. Just to entertain me, really.
That's all I want.
Because it's not like a... it's not like a Shield or a Flash where I have expectations.
Right.
Because maybe it's because it's a new thing. It's an original thing. Because, something like Shield, I know characters. I want a certain outcome for my expectation.
Yeah.
This one just entertained me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know Captain Ed Mercer other than the 2 episodes.
Yeah, and that's great. That's exactly what I want from a science fiction show where I don't know anybody on this show as far as the characters go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any of the species.
Right.
I am learning as I watch it.
That's what you want.
That's exactly what I want, because I mean,
is it because, say Star Trek Discovery, you know about the Klingons and
right.
The Vulcans and
so I expect certain things. If you have an asexual species where everyone is male and they lay eggs, I don't know what to expect.
They're going to surprise you with it.
I expect, and I won't ruin this for our listeners, but I definitely don't expect the end of episode 2.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. And you don't get that a lot in, Seth MacFarlane's stuff, really. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really give you that much unexpected. Ted, you can basically just think of any romantic stoner comedy type thing.
With romantic comedies.
Yeah, with a talking teddy bear.
Yeah.
And that's Ted. Yeah. Not to say anything down about it, but it is very tropey. Where Orville takes the tropes, uses them, but then also strays from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I think that's, for me, it's nice to see Seth MacFarlane do more with him at the helm.
Yeah.
For me at the least. Because, I mean, as I said, I liked him. Liked him a long time, and he used to be just the voice guy.
Right, yeah.
I like that he's starting to stretch to be the actual... he's actually doing these things.
It is hard to not hear Family Guy voices sometimes when he talks.
He can't help that.
It's like that's Peter running the bridge of the starship.
He can't help that. But, with the Orville, and I went to see a movie that he had kind of a supporting role in, nothing he was involved. He just was in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of been cool to see, I think he's going to work out in this live action world.
Yeah, I think the problem I have with Family Guy is when it got canceled, I think it should have stayed canceled. And he's run out of material for it.
But they pay him. So
so he's going to keep producing it. And me and Mrs. The Beard were just talking about this the other day because I've also been watching a sci-fi show called Blood Drive.
Okay.
It's Grindhouse mixed with Mad Max. I mean, it's one of those, I enjoy it. But I'm not going to go out recommending it.
So much like me with Green Wing. Yeah. So if you find someone that actually knows what you're talking about, you're going to have a little panic attack.
Exactly, yeah. But I'm a fan of the show, but I am not in the fandom of Blood Drive.
Okay.
Because people online are freaking out that looks like it's only going to have one season and it's going to be canceled. And that one season encompasses one story. And it's a great 13-episode story.
That's all you need.
Right. And I was telling Mrs. The Beard, I said, I would rather have that than have 10 seasons where 6 of them suck.
Yeah.
Because the writers are still getting money, but they don't have anything else to say. Yeah. So just give me a little book basically on my screen and I'll be happy. Do I hope Orville lasts more than one season? So far, yes.
Yes.
But do I hope that if he starts running out of ideas on that show, he'll give it up? Yeah.
But overall,
I'm very happy with it.
Plot-wise, it's still tropey because, the character that Adrian Palicki plays.
Yes.
So hopefully...
So we have Bobby and Hunter back, just not in the same show.
Hopefully Seth will give her a break to film something to give a definitive answer where she's been or what happened to her.
Wait, hold on. S.H.I.E.L.D. is in space. Orville's in space. Crossover episode. Seth MacFarlane can direct an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Clark Gregg can direct an episode of Orville. That's why we don't know anything about it.
Even if they don't cross over, just saying that, I was like, please let that happen.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if you cross over. That would just, I don't know what will I expect with that.
They can just literally pass in space.
Exactly.
Just have Hunter looking out the window, was that Bobby?
Exactly. But they still play with tropes because,
tropes work.
There's a central plot because Seth MacFarlane plays Captain Ed Mercer, captain of the Orville, and his first officer in command is his ex-wife.
Yeah, which is no spoiler because I like how they do Mercer's origin story in the first 2 minutes of the episode. Get that out the way.
So you find out she was, she slept with another alien while she was married to Ed, and that's where a lot of the kind of conflict kind of rises then settles and rises and settles. Yeah. But it's a trope. It's an old classic trope.
Oh, yeah.
But it works. And I think...
Because they don't... it goes back and forth a little bit, but they don't dwell on it for a whole 20 minutes. We're going to just talk about
our relationship. And if they do, it's kind of spaced out.
Right.
And what the second episode especially made me happy about was, the first episode. Okay, well, those are your main characters. You have
to introduce us.
You have to introduce us, and they are the focal point.
Yeah,
I liked the second episode. Yes, but there are other people.
Yeah, there's a whole ship going on.
We're gonna get to know them too.
Yeah,
and with putting their young security officer in charge while they were gone. And the character is played by a young girl, essentially. So we got to see her deal with the pressures of being in charge.
And I so expected, because she's a physically strong character, I so expected them to put her in that position and just automatically, she knows everything. She's able to do it no problem, because that's kind of the Star Trek way. Whoever they say, okay, you're in charge of the bridge, is an expert.
Yeah, but it was nice to see someone that did not know.
Yeah, and that's what the show does a lot.
And was freaking out.
Yeah, this show is very realistic for a sci-fi show, in the fact that...
And they also did well to explain why the person that should be in charge was not.
Right, yeah.
Because he's, trying to hatch an egg.
Exactly, as you do.
Yeah.
But I like this show because if I have to pick one flaw with Star Trek... everything is a little too perfect and clean. So when somebody is up on the video screen, they are perfectly centered. Everything is working great.
That it's a classic Seth MacFarlane gag that worked for me. Just the whole. Yeah. Could you just
move over? Yeah, it's too much extra space.
Just a little left. There's just a lot of dead space.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because anybody who has ever done like Skype or Google Hangouts or something like that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is hard to concentrate on somebody when they're halfway off the screen.
Exactly. But I like that they gave Alara, the character, a lot more of a spotlight than I expected. Yeah. Especially for the second episode.
Yeah, she's not a background character.
No. And even,
I'm not sure there is a background character yet.
The actual background.
Yeah, the ones that have no speaking lines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But not only did they give her spotlight, but they gave the Doctor spotlight. We got to see more of Bortus and the cyborg that they work with.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's great, and I love the two. The pilot and the helmsman. I love those two.
Yeah.
Just little tiny gags and little like maybe non-sci-fi tropes because. What people I guess gravitate towards in A Million Ways to Die in the West was they kind of had like the modern humor speak,
right? Yeah,
and I like that a little bit of that is in the Orville.
Yeah, they mix that with the actual like hard sci-fi.
Yeah,
which is the thing that makes me, in the grand scheme of things, a bigger fan of Star Trek than Star Wars is the actual hard sci-fi versus fantasy.
Right.
Because they'll speak in their gobbledygook, mechanical language, but then it's like, can I wear shorts to work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, the old captain let us have our drinks at the helm. Is that so okay? Yeah, just don't spill it.
Or he asks if there's bars on the planet, and Seth MacFarlane's character is like, yeah, go ahead and tell us.
We don't. I acquire the information. Which Shelley withheld it. No,
go ahead and tell us. Yeah.
So just little stuff like that. I think.
And they don't dwell on those jokes too long. So, and because that was the thing that I didn't know going into it is that it's an hour-long show.
Really?
I thought it was going to be a half hour because it's Seth MacFarlane.
Right.
So when it was an hour long, I was like, oh, great, I'm going to have to sit through flashbacks and cutaways and all this, Family Guy, American Dad sort of stuff. But no.
I think it's also shown much like how he's matured as like a performer. I think he's matured. I'm only speaking after 2 episodes, but I think it shows me matured as a storyteller.
Yeah. Yeah, we're drinking new Kool-Aid here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this is an old flavor Kool-Aid that I've liked, but maybe they've had a new flavor.
Yeah.
So literally, it is Kool-Aid. So maybe I've been drinking the grape one for a long time. Right. It's like, well, I like the grape.
But we've released mystery flavor. Have a sip. And it's like, okay, that's good.
It's still Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But you can still go back to the old Kool-Aid if you don't like it. Yeah. But it's this new one here. You should give it a try.
Because believe me, there is no true Star Trek fan, I think, that's going to watch Orville and go, you ruined my childhood, you ruined the franchise. Because it's separate.
Yeah. I feel like, I speak as a non-Trekkie in the sense of you're a Trekkie.
Right.
But I feel like, if you're a Star Trek fan, you got to at least enjoy the show.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Don't take yourself that seriously.
Right, yeah.
Especially, they're not spoofing it.
No.
They're not calling it
This is a love letter to sci-fi.
So this is, this should be something that you should at least check out.
Yeah.
Unless you just hate the Kool-Aid of Seth MacFarlane that much.
And then what this means also is that we're going to have Orville and Star Trek at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a good time to be a sci-fi fan.
I'll rely on you to talk about the Discovery.
Yes. I've heard good things about it, but I'm still crossing my fingers.
The only thing that we're gonna poo-poo here on TeeVo and the Beard is that, so if I heard correctly, so to watch Star Trek Discovery, much like most shows now, it's not a new thing to be online exclusive, but you're only on CBS All Access.
Except for the first episode we'll show on TV.
But that's it.
That's it.
But
yeah.
That's just
so it better be one hell of a first episode if they expect people to pay $7.99 for a one-channel subscription.
And I was explaining it to Ghostly Mike. It's not like CBS is Showtime or HBO, where you can. I mean, it's not fair, but you can charge people to, subscribe to your one network. This is a basic cable network.
Yeah.
At the very least, it should not be as much as you would get for like a Hulu or a Netflix.
Yeah. I pay $8.99 for Stars. That's the only single channel thing I subscribe to. But it's because there's Ash vs. Evil Dead, there's Power, there's American Gods, there's movies that I love. Yeah. So it's worth $8.99.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Star Trek, but unless you're the most incredible thing I've ever seen, I'm not going to spend $7.99 just for you.
I think I said this a long time ago. You should bite your tongue and wait for it all to air. Yeah. And then pay $7.99 for 1 month and just watch it all.
Or what you could do, and I'm not saying that our listeners should do this, but they could totally download a web browser like Opera or something like that and use the VPN on that to tell their computer they're in the Netherlands and then watch it on Netflix as it airs. I'm not saying that's possible. I'm not saying that I've already put it on my Netflix list by doing that, but it is definitely a way to go that I will be doing.
Whatever gets them fans.
Right, yeah. And I think that they would have been smarter to actually release it in the US like that too. And release it, do it weekly still. Yeah. But just throw it on Netflix.
Yeah. It's just, I'm just not a fan of the CBS one. No. And the fact that you're the only one that's doing it. So, CBS, do you see yourself as trailblazers here?
Yeah, no.
I mean, come on.
I would be more likely to subscribe to ABC All Access if that existed versus CBS.
And even, I agree, but I still won't.
I wouldn't, yeah.
But I'd be more inclined.
Right, yeah, because there's more there, Yeah. I'm not going to pay for Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's why when new CBS shows come out, I don't want to watch it because not only do you have to get the All Access, but the free CBS.com is terrible.
It's garbage.
I think they...
How is CBS and CW the same company?
I think they purposely make the free episodes not work well.
Probably. Yeah.
And then not only that, and then the shows aren't airing on a Netflix or a Hulu. Right. And if they are, they're really old.
Right, yeah. So yeah, you can go watch like original Star Trek stuff on Hulu.
Yeah. But so it's like, do I have to watch this show?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty we're in at this point. Do I have to watch it? And that reminds me of my last point. Because there's so many shows, because if you haven't noticed, Dedicated doesn't, I like a lot of things I watch. Because I choose you. Exactly. I choose to watch it. Yeah. I could easily say, I don't want to watch it, not putting my time and effort in it. Yeah. So if I choose to watch The Inhumans, Iron Fist, something like that, things that are not that popular. Yeah. The Orville in some sense. Yeah. I'm choosing to watch it. Exactly. So I'm going in the mind frame of like, I want to like it. If I'm going in thinking this is garbage and I won't like it, why am I here?
Yeah, there are things that...
Because there's so much now. Like, in say the 90s when basic cable had all the shows, you just had to roll the dice.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
for the best.
Now there's so many dices out there. Yeah, you could...
We've got like 100-sided die that we can roll.
You could just not watch it if the synopsis online or a trailer or word of mouth doesn't get you. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah, there are so many things that Netflix has recommended to me that I'm like, do you even know me?
Yeah,
exactly. Like, I'm so not going to watch that.
Exactly.
Narcos. I'm not going to watch you. Exactly. Stop suggesting it.
Exactly. So that's where at least my mind comes in.
Yeah, they need.
If you're wondering why. Every time I recommend something, I like it. Yeah. Because I want to.
And also, we're less likely to recommend things we don't like. We're not Netflix.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. So, not that I'm saying that my recommendation holds a lot of water, but let's just say if you hear me say I don't like something one day,
Yeah.
You know it's something's really wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't watch Arrow because, I mean, we tried it, didn't like it.
Yeah.
Not gonna watch it.
I think the only, like, you know, for me with Gotham, you know.
Oh. I tried it twice. That's my problem.
I don't know if you saw this, but, you know, sometimes if you watch a Hulu or something, or any online content, they'll show you previews of next season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that little teenage Bruce is really, really gonna be a Batman.
Yep.
Because that's what we want. That's what people want for some reason.
Yeah.
A teenage kid being a vigilante.
That's what we all ask for. Because, you know, we haven't been asking for Teen Titans or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, so don't give us Teen Titans. Give us Teenage Batman.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
That's how Fox sees it.
That's how Fox sees it.
Yeah.
But don't see it that way when we talk about True Lies, though.
No. True Lies, Orville, you're doing great there. So, yeah.
That is the weirdest thing. Fox will give you the worst and then the best.
They will. Yeah.
At least with networks like NBC, you know, ABC, CBS, like, they're consistent. Like, some things are not great. But
most things on CBS we don't like.
Yeah.
So it's consistent.
But Fox is like, we're going to give you utter crap. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
But we're also going to give you gold.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas, CW is like, we're going to give you things that you really like and things that you could like.
Yeah.
But might not.
But the bar is here.
The bar is here. Yeah, it's a steady thing where Fox is like, we're going to get you all over the place. Yeah.
That's all I have to talk about this week.
Yeah, I don't have anything else either. If you guys want to hear us talk about anything particular, let us know. If you got any recommendations for Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, shoot them our way. And we may check them out. We might not. Depends on, if we like what the synopsis says.
Yes.
So, but until next week. And that's it for this week, folks. Thank you again for listening. And remember, you can follow us on social media. We are on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All you've got to do is go to one of those sites, type in "and the beard." That's ANDTHEBEARD, and you're sure to find us. We hope to see you there. Have a great week.